The funeral was a blur of forced smiles and hushed condolences, but the real shock wasn't the emptiness of his chair. It was the contents of the battered shoebox I found tucked away in his attic. Mark. My older brother. The reliable, quiet one. The one who always had a sensible plan, who'd never risk a thing. Or so I thought. We weren't close, not really. Life had taken us on different paths after college, but a text message about his sudden passing, a heart attack, they said, at 42, had pulled me back to our childhood home, the air thick with the scent of old wood and unspoken grief. My parents, bless them, were too fragile to sort through his things. So, naturally, it fell to me. I'd expected dusty photo albums, maybe some embarrassing teenage diaries. What I found was something else entirely. It started small. A folded piece of paper, tucked inside a worn copy of The Lord of the Rings. A receipt from a pawn shop, dated last month. For a watch. A rather expensive-looking watch, judging by the serial number. Why would Mark, who wore the same Timex for a decade, pawn a nice watch? A tiny, almost imperceptible crack began to form in the perfect facade. Then came the shoebox. Hidden under a loose floorboard in his closet, a place I'd never have thought to look. Inside, not trinkets, but bundles of cash. Neatly stacked bills, thousands of dollars, all in 50s and 20s. My breath hitched. This wasn't savings. This was not Mark. Beneath the money, a collection of burner phones. Not just one or two, but 6. Each one with a different, faded SIM card. My hands started to tremble. What was he doing? Who was he talking to? My mind raced, piecing together odd memories. The late nights he'd claimed were work emergencies. The vague excuses for sudden trips out of town. The time he'd been unusually jumpy after a news report about a local robbery. I dismissed it all as stress, as Mark being Mark. Now, it felt like a meticulously crafted deception. I picked up one of the phones. It powered on, surprisingly. The contact list was a jumble of cryptic initials and numbers. No names, no familiar faces. I scrolled through the call logs. Long, frequent calls. To numbers I didn't recognize, to numbers that started with international codes. My stomach churned. Then I found the messages. Not texts, but encrypted chat logs. It took me an hour, hunched over my laptop in the dim attic light, trying to find a way to decrypt them. Finally, a breakthrough. A simple password, something I recognized from an old inside joke between us, unlocked the cascade of secrets. It wasn't a gambling problem or an affair. It was something far more dangerous. Mark wasn't just a quiet accountant. He was a facilitator. A money launderer. He was moving illicit funds for people I couldn't even begin to comprehend. The names that appeared in the logs were terrifying. Not just local criminals, but international figures. Figures I'd only ever seen on the news. One conversation, in particular, froze me. It was from 2 weeks ago. Mark was arguing with someone. His tone, usually so measured, was laced with fear. He was threatening to back out. He'd said, and I quote, "I can't do this anymore. I'm out. You won't find me." The reply was chilling, "You are ours, Mark. You always will be." Suddenly, the heart attack wasn't so sudden. The police report mentioned no signs of foul play, but now I saw the subtle, terrifying implications. Had he been silenced? Had they finally caught up to him? The shoebox, the phones, the messages, they weren't just a glimpse into his secret life. They were a confession. A testament to a double life I'd never suspected, a life lived on the edge, a life that had ultimately consumed him. Betrayal warred with a strange, unsettling sense of understanding. He'd been living under immense pressure, a pressure I'd been oblivious to. And maybe, just maybe, his decision to get out had been his final, desperate act of defiance. I sat there in the attic, surrounded by the tangible proof of his unraveling, the dust motes dancing in the solitary beam of sunlight. The Mark I thought I knew was gone, replaced by a phantom, a stranger who had shared my blood. The grief was still there, raw and aching, but now it was laced with a chilling fear. What did I do with this knowledge? Who could I tell? Would they believe me? Or would I become a loose end, just like him? The shoebox felt heavy in my hands, not just with money, but with the weight of a truth that had been buried for too long. Mark was dead, but his secrets, it seemed, were only just beginning to live.